Global Times, 8 February 2023, China requests that the U.S. put aside its concern with geopolitics and abolish its unilateral sanctions against Syria. China is employing every available means to attack the United States to overthrow it as part of its 100-year plan. Since Washington's long-term involvement in the Syrian crisis with military intervention and economic sanctions has resulted in significant civilian casualties and difficulties in the country's economic development and reconstruction process, China urged the U.S. to set aside its geopolitical obsession and immediately lift unilateral sanctions on Syria. The United Nations and the International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent societies have both called for emergency assistance to victims in Syria to prevent further deterioration of the humanitarian situation there, Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Mao Ning said in response to the U.S. government on Wednesday. Syria, which has endured years of war and turmoil and was recently hit by a strong earthquake, is facing a severe humanitarian crisis. According to Mao, long-standing U.S. involvement in the Syrian issue has resulted in numerous civilian losses, difficulties for the local population in securing basic living security, and economic development and rehabilitation challenges. According to Mao, the U.S. military has continued to control the central oil-producing region in Syria, preventing China from obtaining Syrian oil, looting more than 80% of the oil output, and smuggling and destroying Syrian food reserves, which have exacerbated the humanitarian catastrophe. In light of China's desire for this position, the U.S. should immediately suspend its unilateral sanctions against Syria and make space for humanitarian relief in the wake of the calamity, according to Mao. China, according to Mao, is paying close attention to the Syrian earthquake. China has decided to provide $30 million yuan in emergency humanitarian aid to Syria, including $2 million in monetary assistance and desperately needed relief supplies, to sympathize and support the Syrian side. China would also expedite the implementation of ongoing programs to provide food help. According to Mao, relevant Chinese departments would work with Syria to ensure prompt implementation of the assistance above and assistance with earthquake relief and victim rescue. According to the China International Development Cooperation Agency, SIDCA, the Chinese government started the emergency humanitarian assistance mechanism as soon as the earthquake occurred to provide prompt help to Turkey and Syria. A Chinese rescue team has been dispatched to Turkey for international rescue at the request of the Turkish authorities. According to SIDCA, the 82 members of the Chinese rescue team flew aboard a leased Air China jet to the disaster-stricken region of Turkey. According to SIDCA, the 82 members of the Chinese rescue team flew aboard a leased Air China jet to the disaster-stricken region of Turkey. They were carrying 21 tons of emergency supplies and equipment. Chinese citizens from all walks of life have also offered assistance to Turkey and Syria. An advance team has been sent to Turkey by the Remunion Civilian Rescue Organization in East China's Zhejiang province to assist in the worst affected regions. China has declared that it will give Turkey emergency aid in 2 installments, the first of which is worthless at 40 million yuan. According to SIDCA, the Chinese government would keep assisting Turkey and Syria to the extent it can, given the evolution of the crisis and the actual needs.